In the immortal words of Keanu Reeves, the whole aspect of cinema should be a moment to come together and celebrate humanity. Come. After all, there are few experiences like immersing yourself in the world of a movie. But what if there was more? What if you could really step into the world of a movie? Maybe not that much. How many times have you actually been watching a film and thought, hey, this is really good. It would probably make a great game. Ever since video games could, there have been video games based on movies. The absolute earliest being Raiders of the Lost Ark on Atari 2600, released in 1982. And who could blame that for being made? After all, who does not want to be Indiana Jones? Well, this game really makes you feel like you're Indiana Jones. History, however, has not been kind to movie tie-ins. And so the mass consensus generally is movie game bad. Movie game kick my dog, take my seat on the train. I'm too awkward to ask them to move, so I have to stand at the train door. My knees hurt. But are video games based on movies really that bad? Is their reputation just a load of bollocks? And if they are rubbish, why they are rubbish? And if they know, then I know. My name is Stag. Welcome to How Bad Are Movie Video Games?
You can't tell anyone about this, okay? It could ruin my whole reputation.
Okay, so before we get into the raw data, I just want to quickly go over the rules that I set for myself when collating said raw data. Rule number 1, the game must be directly based on the film's narrative. So that means no spin-offs, no prequels, no adjacents, and no sequels. Only the movie games. There's one very simple reason why. It's gonna feed into something that I talk about later in the video. So just you be patient. Shush these faces. Shush in your face. Shut the fuck up about it. And rule number 2. Actually, no, it's just the one. So I sat down for an insane amount of time and collated nearly 300 video games based on movies between the years 1982 and 2024. Now, whilst this is not every single movie video game that has come out in that time, because... Oh no, the sources are all scattered. This does still give us a really broad spec of data to work with. And here is that data now. Single data, reveal yourself. Wow, bar graphs. So this graph is showing games that reviewed on average less than 50% from Metacritic, between 50 and 69 nice percent on Metacritic, and anything above 70. Well, wait a minute, Mr. Teacher, this bar graph doesn't show me the video game movie bad. This show me This shows me the movie video game just sort of yellow. Well, yes, but also kind of no. Because in sitting and collating all of this quantitative data, actually looking at the qualitative data suggests a slightly different story. Because whilst absolutely everybody in Camp Red or Brown are entirely in agreement that games like AVP Requiem, Back to the Future, Bad Boys, The Crow, Fight Club, Men in Black, R.I.P.D., Catwoman, Reservoir Dogs, Saw 2, and also Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows, everybody's in agreement that these are all dog shit. But meanwhile, in Camp Yellow, these games' reviews are a really weird, sickening mix of opinions, parallels like, this game is the highest form of art that could easily stand among the elite of the video game industry. This game is literally Little Nicky on Game Boy. It's definitely a trend that changes as time goes on, because as the industry grew, so did the standards of the... Technically, 1986's Labyrinth reviewed better than the film. Why? The thing is as well, looking at game reviews in its infancy, not even going back 20 years, is really, really funny, because there is a review for 2004's Van Helsing that basically says, yeah, the game doesn't do so good, but at least Hugh Jackman looks like Hugh Jackman. 64. It genuinely feels like reviewers didn't really know how numbers work. Star Wars Revenge of the Sith is the ultimate Jedi experience. 70 out of 100. It's the ultimate Jedi experience, but the ultimate Jedi experience doesn't amount to much. Get out of here. I don't like religion. So the big question is, why? Why do all of these games suffer from a terminal case of
disgust?
From my research, there are three main complaints that typically come into play. They are short, boring, and repetitive. Like a sniper wolf reaction. Actually, there is a fourth thing in the complaints bins, and that is that they are just rushed. All of them are rushed. I'm a liar. I lied to you. There's four things. I'm not to be trusted. Just like Sniper Wolf. And the thing is with all of these problems, they feed into each other like some kind of infinity loop fueled by shite. If you rush a game, you've got to make it short. If you're going to rush a game, you're going to have to cut creative corners, and that's going to make it boring. If it's short, you've got to pad it out, and that's what makes it repetitive. Off the press, we've got Shocktail and Shrek 2 in that one. Another one. Blah. Ugh. All of these video games that fall into Camp Yellow probably do have some great ideas and creative moments from some of your favorite movie tie-in games. The Incredibles falls into this category, which has some fantastic segments where you are running as Dash. But even for all of these great elements that get put in, there is obviously still an element of rush, pad, bad idea. Wanted's bullet bending in itself would make for a really great gameplay idea in a better game with more development time. There's plenty of opportunity and some great ideas, but it's always just either making one bad move or doing one wrong thing. I think we really learn a lot about what makes us happy when we stop focusing on, the material things, really look inward.
Wow, no, that really is quite poignant.
Also, what the fuck are people throwing hot dog water out for? It makes for a great side when you've made your hot dogs. Oh my. Then there's the frustrating side of it though, where the devs have got a T-ball set up that in itself would be really easy to hit, and they still completely fucking miss it. The Path of Neo had all of this to work with, and still farted out.
You take the blue pill, you find a bunch of random people in simulations. But take some red.
How did you miss? It was 2 feet in front of you. But what about the other side of the line? The good side of the line. The side that clears the barbed wire of the forgettable and actually finds pastures anew. That's a segue, by the way. Chicken Run. Chicken Run is a movie that can be described in its most basic terms as The Great Escape with chickens. I'm so describing Chicken Run's PS1 game in its most basic terms. It is Metal Gear Solid with chickens. And the amazing thing is, it completely works. Also, it gave me nightmares as a child thanks to the game over screen. With gameplay where you are literally a chicken running around a chicken coop looking for miscellaneous gubbins, it works because of how seriously it takes itself. The atmosphere, the sound design, the music, all of it really works for a game that came out in 2000. Except for the one part where you're playing as Rocky trying to save Ginger from the pie making machine, and this is the music that they've chose. This is the scene in the movie. Can you imagine some kind of life and death situation where someone's just cutting a sax over the top? The Lego Movie game worked because it already had a really successful back catalogue of other movie games that also worked using the same formula. The Spider-Man games, yes, even that one.
I'm going to die.
Reviewed well because it took the movie's events and fleshed them out into a completely new experience. Also, the web swinging was meh. They did what a good video game does when it's based on a movie. It took the narrative building blocks from the film and built on it. Toy Story 2, the film, is about Buzz and Co. saving Woody. The game is about Buzz and Co. saving Woody, but in these Banjo-Kazooie-esque worlds like Al's Toy Barn and Andy's Room and a tree and and you fight a bin. The King Kong PS2 game takes the terrifying prospects in the film of fighting these giant versions of insects and creates a fantastic first-person shooter adventure game where also you get to play as flying gorilla. You get to fight dinosaurs as a person and also as a big monkey. You get to chase women as a big monkey. Big monkey. But what is the secret sauce that just makes these work and these not so much? Is it that choosing to make a game about something like Aladdin is just inherently easier than making a game about the B-movie? The thing is, there is absolutely an argument to make there. Who asked for a game based on Bill and Ted, Alvin and the Chipmunks, and the Beverly Hillbillies? I don't even know what that is. But we've got to have more money. Like, how many people do you think were queued up waiting for the midnight release of Street Fighter, the game, the movie, the game? I've been sitting here waiting for Shrek Forever After for 6 nights now. I've run out of water bottles to pee in, and my shit bucket is full. Then, as mentioned before, how cool could it have been to have a game based on Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows? That is to say, if it hadn't been relegated to just being a Gears of War. How fun would Van Helsing have been if it had just been given a little bit more time and treated more like a Devil May Cry? Crunch is something that's harmed the video game industry for a very long time, and movie tie-in games are probably up there with some of the crunchiest. E.T. on the 2600, a game which famously took a flamethrower to the world before it was rounded up and buried in the New Mexico desert. But I'm sure you've probably heard that story to death.
I completely forgot to mention the E.T. The game was literally made in a weekend, hence the crunch.
It's undoubtedly easier to make a video game based on some IPs over others. For example, you could probably tell me 100 ways that you would handle a Hercules video game. How many ways can you tell me that you would handle a Napoleon Dynamite video game? Would you do a side-scroller? Maybe even like an open-world game where you level up Napoleon. Or maybe you just say fuck it and make a video game minigame collection. They did that in 2007 for some reason. It exists. PSP. PSP. Why did they release Napoleon? But then the other side of the coin is who gets the license? Because there are famously companies that will handle a video game's movie license way better than others. EA Games, challenge everything, actually did a really good job with the James Bond license for a very long time. But then there's LJN, which famously seemed to get every movie title under the sun, and also famously shit on them. Guys, we're finally getting a movie tie-in for Deadpool and Wolverine. This is Parker's. Oh shit, no way, who's handling it? Well, this is a big dub in the chat. Game Mill. I wish there was a science to it. I wish there were definitive trends that would make it easy for me to point out why these video games worked and these ones didn't. But there just isn't. There are trends, but there's also a million variables that just make this whole situation just fuck. One thing for certain is that video games thrive on creativity. Some companies obviously saw the linear nature of movies and saw that as a ceiling, not an opportunity. Taking something as linear as a movie and fashioning it into something new and exciting and creative is hard. But given time and creative freedom, you can create something really special. But what would be the ultimate form of creative freedom? Well, getting an IP and being told, go. You get all of this. You don't get any of this. Which brings me on to
Horrible beast!
But he's different now, Papa. He's changed somehow.
looking at the chronology of all of these movie tie-in video game releases, there is a massive continental drift around the 2010s. From the earlier days all the way up to the 2010s, you couldn't barely move for the sheer volume. But now... Hi, Jumanji. I guess you're there. As time has gone on, more and more people lost faith in video games to do with films because of their reputation, and companies didn't really fancy putting money into it anymore because the returns, there they are. And thank God that this happened, because instead of companies giving out their film licenses to garbage game developers, although that does still happen, companies have actually started giving their licenses to reputable developers making good shit. RoboCop Rogue City is a fantastic example. It takes the world of RoboCop, the characters of RoboCop, but creates an original story with fantastic gameplay. You can pick up criminals and throw them out of buildings 1 minute and then reprimand some old woman for how they're parking the next. Killer Clowns from Outer Space, Texas Chainsaw Massacre, Friday the 13th, all created isometric horror experiences that fans really got behind. There was a Mad Max game that took everybody by surprise, a Terminator game called Resistance that had no right to be as good as it was. Alien Isolation, which to this day is still one of the best horror games that I have ever played, which was an original game based on everything made by Daddy Ridley. All in all, video games that were based on movies and adjacents like The Thing on PS2 and The Warriors struggled and crawled so that games like Jedi Survivor, Captain America Super Soldier, and if its previews really are doing it justice, Indiana Jones and the Great Circle could thrive. So how bad are video games based on movies? They're pretty bad. But thanks to those little bits of gold that we got along the way, that is what paved the way for what we actually have today. And if we had to go through all of this shit to get what we've got today, I think that's pretty wizard. Now, movies based on video games, that's its own thing. And if people want to see a video like this for that, I'll fucking do it again. Thank you so much for watching this video. I want to thank my patrons, Casey Young, Maven, Barry the Awesome, and Owen Rico. As always, thank you so very much for your support. If you would like to support me, you can. You can subscribe to this channel. You can hit a little one of those like thumbs. You can leave me a comment. Tell me about the games that you played that were based on movies that you really liked, or that you super didn't like. And if you do want to support me on Patreon for as little as $1 a month, you absolutely can by following the link in the description below. Thank you for watching. I've been Stag. You, as always, have been wonderful. I'll see you in the next one. How am I going to leave the frame this week? Superman!